My goodness. Well, howdy, folks. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 42 of the What Is She podcast, where Alana and myself will be breaking down and, just generally freaking out and trying to keep ourselves composed as we discuss Critical Role Campaign 2, episode 132. But before we jump into all of that fun stuff, we've got a couple of announcements. I think I have a couple of announcements, maybe. We have a Discord server. Yes, indeed we do. My channel has an official Discord server where we hang out, talk about Critical Role, post a lot of memes. They're a chaotic bunch out there, so if you want to match that energy, be sure to join the Discord server. Link in the description of this live stream. Any other announcements? We have a Minecraft server as well.
Yeah,
if that's something you're interested in. It's a lot of fun. We have a cute little village going on right now. It's tons of fun. But I think that's about it. Any Hit Dice Heroes stuff?
No Hit Dice Heroes this weekend because it's the Easter weekend. But we'll be posting about next weekend this week. So follow us on Twitter to keep up to date with some Hit Dice Heroes stuff. But yeah.
Alrighty. So, with those announcements out of the way, let us dive right into this episode. And we had talked about this a little bit in previous What Is She episodes. The mark that's on forward. We were like,
yes.
I wonder if they're gonna retcon it and say that they removed it or any of that stuff. And I guess they didn't. And they finally brought it to light.
I really thought they would have been like, oh, surely when we were in the hot springs or something, they would have seen it. But I loved how they were like, oh, I completely forgot about it. Who? Ford or Travis? Yes. It was a team effort on that one of forgetting that it was there. That was a while ago. That was from their first fight with the Tomb Takers. He's had it all through Nicodranus. He's had it all through the Happy Fun Ball. I was just so pleased that it's finally gone. And it was Jester that finally got rid of it, wasn't it? With the Dispel Magic.
Yes, because I think Essek tried twice. Really I think.
Yeah.
Then...
Oh no, I think he tried once, and then they were like, or did he try twice?
I can't remember. Regardless,
she ended up getting a 28, which was good. That's hard to not work in that situation. So it was really cool. It was really cool that it worked. It's gone. Thank goodness.
Yeah, one less thing they got to worry about.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I wonder if I'm sure Matt would have remembered, but I wonder if Matt, had it in his head for the fight of, how it was going to come up and fuck with them in the middle of the fight.
Yeah.
I imagine Lucian would just oh, you still have that? Oh, okay, cool, great.
Yeah, because...
You've gotten rid of it by now.
I would imagine... it's tough because... It sounded like when Bo was talking to Lucian back in front of the gravestone that he didn't really know what they were up to. But at the same time, I don't think that brand that was on Ford is any kind of divination magic. Maybe it is.
I think it's
but that's the only thing the amulets block.
It's kind of like a hex, I think, where he can put damage. And there's some teleporting aspect to it as well. If Ford, I think, tries to leave his range or whatever, he takes damage. But it obviously didn't matter necessarily in the long run. But if Ford gets up and close and personal in their fight and he still had it, it would probably be bad.
Yeah, I mean,
it's gone though. It's gone.
We don't have
to worry about it.
We don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
But besides that, they had a pretty... I actually didn't realize how close the secret entrance was to the outpost. I thought there was going to be days of travel, but it was I think they got it all done in a day. Within a day.
Jaunty little walk that.
Yeah.
I was surprised because I was the same. I was thinking oh, it's going to be a couple days trek.
Yeah.
And they're going to have the tower, and we're going to see Essek's room and all this sort of stuff. And it's oh no, they're there. Oh, this is Aeol. Oh, cool.
Have we reached season 7, 8 of Game of Thrones in terms of travel? Because it seems the travel time in the later seasons of Game of Thrones became non-existent. They were teleporting everywhere.
Yeah, but no, I think we probably just misjudged it, and they were just moving really effectively, and I think it was good weather, which probably helped.
Yeah, that too.
But
That
I
too
I
probably
really
helped.
enjoyed travel companion Essek and his not so much confusion, but his surprise, I guess.
Surprise realization. Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, this is not. He didn't say it's not as professional as I thought it would be, but it's essentially what he was thinking. Like, this is not what I expected.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
Lovely.
And can we? Okay, the reason why I enjoy playing like spellcasters is in D&D is because I love spinning spell flavor and like spell descriptions. I love that shit. And Matt's descriptions of Essek's way of casting spells, so good.
The little
so good. Like, the sound waves
on the
Oh my 100%. God.
That was beautiful. And I was like, I'm like, is he doing a new spell? Like, is Caleb watching? Like, I'm like, oh my God, no, this is just beautifully flavored sending. This is so cool.
That was and it makes me want, like, did Matt just like think of that on the fly, or is like that something he's like been thinking
have
of,
like this whole kind of like Dunamis flavored spells for like all of them. Leah, yes, that sending spell was sexy.
It was Leah. 100%
oh my goodness.
Indeed. But then I liked Liam's we have the trucker mage version. You know, the trailer trash version of the sending spell.
Pull out of like a wrinkly bit of copper wire. Like, hello, can you hear me? Like, it's like a ham radio versus Discord. Like,
it was wonderful.
So cool.
It was wonderful. And then, I mean, okay, not to skip ahead. We'll make an exception this one time for skipping ahead.
They're gonna get so sick of this joke.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I won't.
Sound like we. Yeah, I won't get tired of it. Then the other one, his haste spell, where it's like clockwork. That Dunamancy twist. That's like he was winding up the clock to speed.
So cool.
Speed Yasha up. That was pretty cool.
Ooh.
Pretty cool as
Gregory
well.
Cahill in chat says, makes me wonder how Trent casts sending. He probably like gets a crow and like cuts out its heart, and then like slaps a child in the face and then says, "Send me this message," and the kid like turns into lightning and sends and slaps the other person in the face.
Yeah, that's putting it like mildly. Like that's the PG version.
Yeah, that's the message cantrip. Like sending is a whole other ball game of pain.
Yeah. So basically, what we're saying is Trent needs to go.
Trent's bad, yeah.
Yeah, Trent is not a good person. But they did. I guess one other exciting thing about their travels, they did come across a woolly mammoth.
Yeah.
I guess that was nice.
Yeah.
Nice change of pace. A non-hostile. I mean, maybe if it saw them, it would have been hostile, but I would hope that I feel like they've developed some mammoth affinity, with the amount of times that Jester is transformed.
Yeah,
and
100%.
Liam's.
They give it its space, not move up to it.
Yeah,
I like that. I like too on their journey the hill they came across or the mountain they came across and had to traverse down. Because there was two, right? There was the one in Aor, and then there was one initially where they were trying to figure out how to get down it into the valley.
Yep, there was that one. But before that, before that one, or actually, was it before or after that? I think it was after. So we'll talk about the
Yeah, well, this one was the like, who can fly? Should we polymorph? This was where someone pushed Bo off. I can't remember who pushed Bo off.
Oh, it was Jester. Jester,
yeah. Just pushed Bo off and she just like, went down. Like,
flipping the birds,
But they did it so well without any spells, which I thought was really cool. Like,
but they also...
I was worried that Matt was setting them up for like, which kind of did happen with the giants and then this creature they're facing now, that setting them up to like use resources, take a bit hit so that when they come against the Tube Takers, they're not, fully rested. But this was good. I was worried, like, oh no, they're going to use like spells to get down this hill, and they just climbed down it, and it worked really well. And we're like, oh, you can just use like your athletics. It's all good. But yeah, no, that was good. I liked how efficient they were in that scenario.
But I do also like how they made it far more complicated than it had to be. Kind of like how I was saying before stream, where it was like, okay, we're gonna split up into 2 teams. We're gonna have a code word for if someone falls, so that way we can all fall, and then we'll cast Featherfall. It's like,
I'll be down with the Featherfall, and then I think at that point that was just Jester and Fall were like, I start climbing.
This is getting too much. There's too many layers. We just gotta go. And eventually they did, and they got down. And I think it was maybe around this part, or maybe it was before the cliff, where we got the incredible Snowman impression by Caduceus Clay, where Ford had asked him to give him his best Snowman impression, and to be honest, it was probably better than most of them could probably have pulled off. It was a really nice moment.
I'm blanking 100% on that scene.
That was a great scene.
I was chatting in the Discord, and like I completely don't remember that happening at all.
Chat, do you have my back? Do y'all remember that scene, or did I imagine that? Did I hallucinate that scene?
You're saying it
his Snowman impression. Oh gosh.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this episode completely because
it was good. It was good.
I was very much just chatting away, and like I was taking some notes, and I was chatting away, and I was like, "Oh God, what are they?" And I find myself typing like suggestions, or like not suggestions, but saying, "Oh, I wonder if they're going to do this," and then pay back attention to the stream, and it's literally what they're talking about. I'm like, "Well, I'm an idiot." Okay, I'm going to rewatch. I'm going to rewatch the episode.
I did not imagine
I might have to save for Discord next time. Lovely Discord. Great place to chat.
It is.
I can't focus.
I was typing in the Discord as well, and I was like, okay, I need to stop. Stop. But there was a lot of planning, a little bit of downtime. There was some combat, so I get whenever there's combat, if it's not like, narrative driven combat, I kind of lose focus very quickly. But this combat in particular was kind of could have gone pretty bad.
The Frost Giants?
Yeah, the Frost Giants.
Yeah, it's
rough.
It was a good combination on Matt's side of having multiple. They were close in initiative so that you could paralyze and then hit. That was rough. Like, I mean, okay, she would have gone down if Cad hadn't cancelled that crit, because the first hit was like 30 something, so it would have been 60 plus the I think it was like 40. Like, one sec. Yeah, it would have been
around there.
30. So it would have been around 130. I think her max is 140. So she would have been real close to going down. That's rough. But that's kind of like their one good move. They do need to waste an action to paralyze, and then another needs to use its action to hit. So I think at the end of the day, it was pretty good in terms of like they could control this fight. It was just more that one scenario of, okay, like let's not get ganged up by these things, because it's gonna be bad if we get ganged up on these things. But no, they handled it really well.
They did.
I've seen so many mentions of it on Twitter of Essek in the fight, and we talked about his hate spell and everything, but there was like a thing like Essek in episode 70, and he's like this huge kind of looming all-powerful figure that's like super serious, crushing the ball striker with his hand. And it's him in this fight. It's like,
fisticuffs.
Come on, okay, guys. Like we've talked about how like our perception of his personality's changed because of how he feels and how the mind and I view him. But it's just so cute to see him in a fight of just like, he's like Caleb in the early campaign of like, I'm going to hide around the corner now. Like,
I am just going to hide.
Yeah, squishy wizard. It's cute.
I agree with Andrea. Essek is baby. Essek is the baby. As Liam said, 2 librarians in a corner. Yeah, that's pretty much what they were. Luckily, they were able to transform one of them into a little baby sloth, a little slothy, which was super cute. And then, of course, that sloth transformation led to another sprinkle moment
Oh god.
Oh my god. I think I've said this before. But my favorite part about the sprinkle moments is whenever Travis, does his sprinkle voice and stuff. But
Yeah.
what kills me also is that Marisha like loves it so like laughs so hard every time that
Yeah.
Travis does the voice too that I end up laughing because Marisha's laughing. It's just
Yeah.
it's so good. It's so good.
It's such a sad creature.
It's
I want a happy ending for Sprinkle. I want Sprinkle
I
to
know.
like be released or like
Yeah.
just have a happy life where he's not under stress the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's like a joke that he's still with Jessa, but the fact that she's brought him back to Islecross, she could have left him with her mother
Yeah.
in like the dash,
Yeah.
but like it just didn't even click that like they've taken
No.
him to the end of the world. He has no practical value. It's just
No, not really.
narrative roleplay value. But let's just bring the weasel with us.
Oh,
It's great.
I'm glad we have Sprinkle just for moments like those where we
Yeah.
get Travis voicing Sprinkle in the moment. Oh, it's so
I
good.
love Travis and I almost said Travis and Jester. Travis and Laura role playing together.
Yeah.
And even though they're separated, they are sitting next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so great. Like even after the fight, where it's like kiss me, Jester, like
Yeah.
really playing up the romance.
Mm-hmm.
With like, yeah, it is good.
Yeah.
It's so fun. This episode in total was a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and very light-hearted. Even though they've had
Yeah.
like 3 kind of encounters, it was, Jester took 100 points of damage at one point. It was still
Yeah.
a really light-hearted episode. It felt pretty chill, pretty relaxing.
Yeah. Comparative, to the episodes we've had recently, it was It was
And I
pretty
think maybe
chill.
it's because we were like expecting like to go like, oh, it's AO, it's doom and gloom, but no, they
Well, I know because it's like we're obviously all very anxious about what's to come. So it's like I'm already on edge like every single episode that's happening. It's like I'm just waiting for something awful to happen. It's like whenever they enter a new room or whenever Matt has someone roll for like a perception check or something, and as soon as he begins is like, so you enter the room or like, and then you see this. I'm like, oh, here it comes. Here it is. This is it. This is it. Here we go.
Yeah.
It's time.
So many times I thought it was going to be like you see this thing emerging. I'm like, oh, it's the Tomb Takers. Like, Here we go.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Especially when they were before the giant fight happened, when they were just like peeking into the entrance, and Matt was like, Caduceus, with your passive perception, you look back and you see something. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Are they like here behind them? Oh my god, it's awful.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But no, it's good. It's really fun. I think I'm wondering how far they're going to keep pushing into Aor. Because they've got this encounter that they're going to start with next episode, which, that might take a little bit of time. But then I'm just thinking, like, are they going to keep pushing in? I really like the ambush idea, but they've got to pick a spot to ambush.
Yeah. They do. They definitely need to decide if they want to push further or hold, because they're wasting a lot of stuff, because now they're going to have to fight this excuse me, frost salamander, I think it is.
Yeah, most likely.
So yeah, they need to just chill, and they're coming up with decent plans. I feel like a lot of the different things they've been proposing are really good.
I loved the idea of putting the symbol at the top of the pit so that it would stun them. It wouldn't stun Lucian, but like it would stun the rest of the party if they're susceptible to that, make them fall down, or what was it, like trigger like a fire effect to cause the mold to grow so that it would then attack them.
A lot of opportunities for strategic battles and plans and stuff. But what I'm worried about is it really feels like Matt is foreshadowing a collapse of these ruins.
It does not sound stable at all.
It does not. Several times this episode, he was like, it's looking a bit shakier. It's like, it looks like things are barely holding together.
Yeah.
And then we had a little sneak peek of that when, Veth and Yasha went off on their mini adventure. Yeah.
Let's talk about Veth.
Oh, God.
That was incredible.
That was so good.
It started with them getting to the pit and having to get down the pit, and that lovely imagery of Caleb and Veth squished up in the doorway because there's like this tiny little opening. But the getting down to begin with, I love whenever Yasha and Caleb are together and Caleb's a spider. She's like, "Oh, I'm going to eat you."
Yeah.
Like,
that was cute.
It's so cute. No, it was so funny, them together with Spider Caleb in the background, trying to figure out what to do, and taking a step, taking some cold damage, and like, okay, I take another step.
Yeah, and then just seeing like Travis and Laura's reaction to that whole thing was so good.
And it was such a from Matt, like, you see a robe. Like,
yeah.
But
it's funny because I do that as a DM too, where I'll just on the fly, I'll just put something there to garner attention, just to stoke the flames, just to get it going. It's so funny.
Just the chaotic energy of Ashley Johnson, who is like, I wrote down like, Ashley can't not know. She's as a play, like those someone made a really good YouTube video recently about like Yasha wanting to know the books, what was on the books in the Happy Fun Ball, but it harkens way back to like campaign 1 with the box, Senekia's box that they had to bury. She's like, what's in the box? Like, I want to know. Like, they had explicit instructions not to open it, and she's like, can't we just like take a peek or something? It's exactly the same as this, where she's just like, like, so what is the robe? Like, would I have time to grab it?
At least in this campaign, it makes sense because Yasha has a pretty low wisdom, because I feel like Ford plays the low wisdom on Ford very, very well as well too. So we can. Sure, it's Ashley wanting to know everything, but we'll give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she's just really good at playing low wisdom characters.
Which is why I think it was funnier when it was Pike being
exactly.
But Rhea, Travis and Ashley are both button pushers, 100%.
They are, because while Travis was like, "What are you guys doing?" he was also, I feel like, very encouraging and being like, "Yup, I would probably do the same if I was there."
He's like, back in the Happy Fun Ball days, he was like, the video gamer in me wants to unlock all the levels. It was great. I mean, as a DM, that would just be like, oh, my players are really enjoying this and they want to keep playing. But for Ashley, it's just like, I need to know what that is. Like, it could be useful.
It's the secret of Aor.
It's the secret of Aor, No, I was disappointed it wasn't a magical robe, but also kind of really proud.
I'm happy with both outcomes. Both are hilarious. I think more hilarious that it wasn't magical.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But I think what was funny about this whole scenario, and why Laura and Travis were having a particular strong reaction to it, is because they're on a pretty serious mission. They need everyone at full power, and then we have Veth and Yasha going off, potentially getting into very terrible danger. Collapsing the tower that they were in. Definitely a bit rough, but luckily it was fine.
They got there. No, it was so good. Ashley was really great this episode. Like, even in the giant fight, she was so good. There was like, you saw the math that people were putting like on the Discord, like with her bonuses and everything this fight, and the giant's AC of 15, she could roll a 2 and still hit.
Wow.
With all her bonuses, like, the only way she could miss is if she rolled a natural 1, which is an automatic miss anyway. So she was unstoppable in this fight, which Essek saying, like, I think you're the one to go in on this, is totally accurate. And then she crit, and I fucking loved Bo. Like, I'm so like inspired by my girlfriend. Like, just started.
That was good. That was good. And what a great way to showcase your new weapon, the Holy Avenger, with a crit. and just
against
absolutely
undead.
decapitating a undead frost giant.
Oof.
Yeah, that's good.
No,
both of the girlfriends getting crits, because didn't Bo get one as
crit,
well?
yeah, and she rolled a 1 on the damage.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Which is why you always roll double dice, not double the dice.
Yeah. Yep.
You do what you want. That's how I prefer it. You get to roll more dice.
I think it's fun. It's fun to roll more dice. It is fun, especially if you're a rogue and you can, double your sneak attack times. Yeah.
It's really cool.
That's why I wish. I wonder if there's some homebrew, like spell stuff, because like for obviously when you roll an attack roll spell, you can crit with it, but you can't crit with a saving throw spell.
No.
So I wonder if there's some, like, if they roll a natural 1 on their save against it, if there's like some homebrew like crit effects.
Trade-off. I think it's the trade-off for spellcasters, melee fighters. If a melee fighter's only thing they can really do in action, like obviously they've got other features of that, is to hit with weapon. It makes more sense for them to. That's true. Yeah, I do like the idea of like crit fails for saves. But yeah, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, they've play tested it. It's fine. It's good. It's good. Yeah. So ultimately they, realize that there's this, icky moss and stuff. But I also like Essek leading the way with his little ray of frost, just like, lasering all the little.
Yeah, that was literally an ice laser. Yeah, that's what I was getting excited about with the giants.
That's pretty much what it was. Oops, got my.
I think that was a very kind DM. They're letting them know about the mole's weakness.
Yes. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like Caduceus probably doesn't do a lot of reading, and probably doesn't, read up on that kind of stuff. But yeah, you know what?
I feel like Matt in his head might have been like, "God, what if they set this on fire?" Like, maybe I should tell them.
Oh yeah, that probably would have been pretty
real bad. That thing, I was reading about it. Like, that thing will kill you quick.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, if it like spreads.
Is it in the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount? Is that a Matt creation, or is it?
It took me a while to find. I hadn't actually heard of it, but like people in the Discord were going off about it. But I was looking it up. It's not actually a creature per se. It's a effect. It's a living effect of dungeons. So it's in the Dungeons Master Guide. And so it's it's essentially it does cold damage. It reacts strongly to cold. Fire causes it to grow, but it just deals cold damage periodically if you're in the area, and it's a pretty decent save. Like, they would have been probably okay, but it does a decent chunk of cold damage the more that it's there. So yeah, it's not a thing you want to stick around near. You want to move away from it quickly. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely no Henry Crabgrass. Definitely not.
No. You don't want to be cuddling up to this thing.
Sadly. But then they made their way, farther into these ruins again. It comes down to how far do they actually want to go into these ruins. Maybe because is there another threshold crest in here, or is where they're going the location where they go to the Astral Sea? I can't remember.
I think maybe the plan is to get to where the Cognosa Ward was, because I think that's where they think the Tomb Takers are going, but I'm not clear on their plans. I feel like the focus should be on stopping the Tomb Takers 100%. But then they're fucked with the eyes on them. Like, they need to figure out what's going on with that. I don't think if they take out the Tomb Takers that is going to go away.
Right.
I think as long as the city's in the Astral Sea, they're going to have their hooks in Caleb and Bo. And also, let's not forget that dear Yusa's mind is completely trapped within the city.
Yeah.
That's not going to be easy to restore without having some kind of contact with the city. So I don't.
Oh gosh.
I'm real stressed.
Is what if? I'm just thinking. What if they defeat Lucian and the Tomb Takers, and in doing so, Lucian's connection to the Somnovum is severed. And what if? Because then they would still have to stop the city.
And the city would need a new Nonagon.
Yeah. And Bo and Caleb have the eyes.
I don't know.
So then would they... Huh. What if they then brought Lucian back with his connection severed, but still use his knowledge of the Somnovan to figure out what to do to stop them? That's a bit of a stretch, but still.
But maybe if they sever the connection from Lucian to the city, he'd be like, "Oh wow, that was weird. Like I didn't expect any of that to happen."
Yeah.
Oh, I was clearly under the influence of the city there. Like that's not going to happen. I don't think. That seems really stupid. But like, I don't know.
Yeah. So it's like while the party needs to succeed, stopping the Tomb Takers, we then have to think about, well, what does that mean if they kill Lucian, right? So it's a bit worrisome.
They don't necessarily know how to call the city back. It's assumably got to do with the threshold crests to teleport it in. But if it comes in, is it going to lock back in place where it was? Is it going to be hovering above
right? And we don't even know how big the city, like how big was the Cognosa ward?
No, we don't. It could be the size of like a small little camp, or it could be the size of Rexentrum itself.
Yeah. Maybe it was mentioned. Maybe it was mentioned how big the Cognosa ward was.
I didn't get that. Sorry.
I said maybe it has been mentioned how big it was, but I can't remember. Because if it's just a small, like a section of the city, it can't be that big.
They talk about Aor as the largest and grandest of the floating cities. Like,
oof. Maybe it is. But one conversation that happened again just adds a lot of emotional weight to what they're doing. Was the conversation between Ford and Bo, where Bo was talking with Ford and saying, if things start to look south, what's our backup plan? Are we dipping? Are we using order recall? Are we getting out of here? And then Ford is like,
no,
I don't think we're leaving. Like there is no backup plan. Like this is it.
Yeah, and I think he's still very much like, we're going to win.
Yeah.
He's still very confident. It's just like, we win or we don't. Like, we're not leaving. This is not like, we're not going to be able to escape from this. We're going to try and take a very long breath. But he's still confident they're going to win.
Yeah.
But he's saying like, we can't leave. But I don't know if this is what you're going to say, but then like Caleb has expressed sending Veth away if he needs to.
Yeah, that's like that's what I was wondering, because Ford was kind of hinting at that, where maybe like if it comes down to it, individual, like maybe like Ford and Caleb have in their minds who they will want to send away if things go south, and I think the first two that come to mind is obviously Veth and Jester.
Yeah.
Because Ford kind of foreshadowed in this conversation, he was like, I don't think we're leaving, or at least I'm not. I'm staying no matter what. So it seems like he is willing to sacrifice himself in order for others to potentially escape if things go south.
It's impossible to think of like, if people are teleporting out, it's bad. That's still like, that means TPK on the side that stays probably, or like it's not going to stop the city. It's still going to be really bad for the people that teleport out. I could see Jester not wanting to leave, and I could see Veth not really, unless it's like, oh god, unless it's like 100% we have failed, end of the world sort of thing. I'm going to send you back so you have a few moments with your family.
Oh God. Why would you even say that?
Kind of like, I'll hold it back, you go. But it's also concerning if Caleb's holding onto his 7th level spell for the entire time of the fight.
True.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, for once, I'm not the one being yelled at by chat.
Oh, it's fine. I can take it. I get imagery of like X-Men X2, the second X-Men, where Jean Grey's holding back the water and she's rising the shit. One of my favorite scenes in film.
That is a good scene. That's a good scene. Out of all of those movies, I think X2 is probably the best.
X2 is probably the best. Yeah.
I agree. This is now an X-Men stream. We'll be talking about our favorite X-Men from here on out. Mine is probably Storm.
Wolverine. I can't help it. I know it's like cliche.
I mean, Wolverine's pretty badass. I loved the Logan movie. I feel like the Logan movie really did his character justice.
So good.
If there was any, like, including Deadpool, if there was any other like superhero that deserved like a rated R movie, it's Wolverine.
Oh, he's the rated R superhero. Yeah, like he's it's 100%. So good.
Anyways, Critical Role.
Yep.
Critical Role, episode 132. No, but it's all of these like small little conversations about like, this is it, we're not leaving, like it's do or die here is just so it doesn't do any favors to my anxiety about all of this stuff that they're doing.
No, it's very much, we spoke about it last What the Sheet episode a few like hours ago.
Pretty much.
About them saying what they want to do or what they would like to happen if they do die. And it feels very like this again, feels very much like the hero's farewell a bit, or like, the heroes preparing for the battle that they don't think they're going to get out of it.
And so here's a thought. Here's the thing. So, well, I don't want to believe this is the last arc. And okay, this could still technically be the last arc. It just could be extended because of new information that happens. Like, oh, Tharizdun is connected to this after all, and now you need to stop Tharizdun, and it adds, another leg to this arc.
God.
Oh God, I've already lost my train of thought. Okay, no, I got it again. So because there's so much emotional buildup and emotional weight to this arc, it would kind of feel emotionally exhausting to then have to go through it again if there's another major big bad after this Tomb Takers arc. It's like they're doing such a good job at building this up that it would feel like, I don't know, it'd be like, oh, we're doing this again. It would lose a lot of the impact that it's happening that it's having right now.
Yeah, I agree. Which is why I'm thinking like it's gonna be maybe like a Trent apparition, where he turns up and joins with the I don't see. I agree with what you're saying, but I don't see how they're going to tidy up Trent without him being involved in this arc. But I think that, but then at the same time, I don't. It seems weird to imagine him teleporting into the middle of it, unless he's been connected this whole time and we just didn't know. Unless it's been like he's had contact with them somehow and we didn't know. I feel like it's we want it to be its own arc, but I agree. I feel like this build up of this is the end if we don't stop it. Oh, we did it, great. Oh no, this is the end if we don't stop it. Like, although I feel like Trent is lower stakes. I feel like the arc is more personal rather than world ending. So that could be maybe how it works out.
But it's like Lynn is saying, like there's so many loose ends still, so many mini arcs that could still happen. I mean, I guess it could be possible that, this campaign doesn't end with some climactic battle where they save the world. This could be the world-saving event, and then the campaign just wraps up with them tying up all the loose ends, dealing with the Cerberus assembly, dealing with Bo's stuff that she has going on. dealing with maybe the Sabian arc that's still happening. It could just be, you know, tying up these little loose ends in a nice little bow.
There's a really good Reddit thread at the moment. Someone was asking, is this where it ends? Because they feel like there's a lot of talking of the campaign ending, and this Reddit user Hutsut Rolson did this really good write-up, and it's super long, so I'm going to post a link. I'm not going to like read it out.
It's a Reddit thread, you said?
Like, yeah, all the evidence of how it feels like the campaign's wrapping up. So it's got like mentions of the cast talking about like things, just like Matt saying simple things, saying like thanks D&D Beyond for being there from episode 1 and bringing us home, like little subtle things. But the biggest kind of thing they bring up is like the Legends of Vox Machina, how they think that with that coming out at the end of the year, it's going to be maybe not wise for them to still be in this real nitty-gritty deep campaign for new viewers. It makes sense for a new campaign to start as the show comes out for new viewers. It's a really good thread. I'll post them here and I'll post it in the Discord. That's to the comment by that person, and it is talking about how the campaign's ending. So if you don't want to read about that, that's fine. But
is the Legend of Vox Machina actually coming out this year?
I think so. Well, I think it's aiming for this year. But at the very least, they're talking about production of it, and like if they want to be advertising it, it's going to be like, hey, we're making a D&D show, come check out our current campaign. It's 150 episodes long, and they're in the middle of this like super dense storyline. It would make more sense to be like, hey, join us in 2 weeks as we start our new campaign with new characters, fresh start.
That is marketing wise, that is a brilliant idea.
I'll chuck the link also in the What the Sheet.
And would 100% increase their viewership.
Yeah, but
again, they've always been, of the opinion that they want their game to feel natural and organic and not forced or anything like that.
Exactly. So not influenced by outside factors.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like this could be a big enough thing where I would understand if they sped up again, I wouldn't want them to. I don't think they particularly would want to either, but I would 100% understand from a business standpoint why they would decide to speed up the timeline a little bit.
And you got to think they missed out on like how many months? It was like maybe 2.5 months or so of streaming because of the pandemic. It's tricky.
Yeah. It's a bit
it's tricky and
a bit rough.
Yeah, and I see people saying, who was it? Burnby, making a new campaign would be a lot of work for Matt, though. I agree. Like we've talked about before about how maybe between season 2 and season 3 they even take a year off.
Yeah,
and
I
do
was
like
thinking the same
one
thing.
shots and mini campaigns, which would be really cool, I reckon, before jumping back into a brand new full campaign. That'd be cool. I'd actually be down for that because also, it's easier to catch up on one shots than it is on episodes of Critical Role.
Yeah, no, I feel that, and especially we got to give Matt a break. Like I feel like I don't know how this man would have time to then write up, campaign 3 instead of all that stuff.
I want to see Sam do another car-based one shot.
Yes. Yeah. That would be good.
Oh my god.
That would be good. And we still need the Ashley Johnson one shot. One of the Kickstarter goals.
And we've still got the Vox Machina versus 99 one shot.
So there's a lot of, and it could actually be the perfect. Okay, maybe this will be the last arc, and like the handful of one shots and stuff they do are tying up these loose ends and stuff.
I can see that,
yeah.
Have an episode dedicated to Ford, like they each get an episode each.
Yeah,
kind of
like
thing.
instead of for, campaign 1, they just had it in that one episode, in the final episode, where they each gave a brief thing of what they wanted to do.
That episode kills me.
Oh, I know.
That episode kills me so much.
Yeah. But they could have something like that, except instead of them, just talking about what they do, they each get their own one shot of like wrapping up their stuff.
I really hope no one dies.
Oh no!
Now we're seriously nervous of someone dying.
That is a really good point you bring up there, Burnby. What if Liam was DM for third campaign and Matt played? Matt, on his most recent Talks appearance, talked about that, actually. Because I think it was Brian was like, or was it at Talks? No, wait, was it Talks? It was either Talks or his interview with Philip DeFranco. I can't remember who. I think it was that. I think it was that because I think Philip DeFranco had asked, who would take over for you if you stopped, and he said that that Liam would probably be the most likely candidate for that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I could see that.
Liam goes dark with his DMing.
Yeah, he does. So I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. But then the other
an evil campaign would be cool.
Oh yeah, that would be interesting. But then the other sad thing is because I'm of the sad, depressing belief that campaign 3 will be the last one that we see from this cast.
From the whole group,
yeah, from the whole group. Maybe some of them will still be players, or like one of them will be a DM. But I think, given we already know the Legend of Vox Machina is going to be a huge success, even if it's just the Critter fan base that are fans, that's enough for it to be a success. They're gonna probably have a lot on their plates, and they're probably gonna want to develop that to the best of their ability. I would imagine that they would pass the torch on to a new generation.
I could see a new cast. I could see these guys going off and playing at home again, which would be
that's what Matt was saying. That's exactly what he was saying. He wants to bring it back home.
Yeah, but still involved in the company. Like it's still
exactly.
Just doing other things and maybe one shots here and there. But I could absolutely see, like, I could see probably Travis stepping out of the live campaign, and I could see definitely Matt, I reckon. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it's sad to think about, but it's also kind of exciting because of how rapidly they're growing as a company. That I want them to have the opportunity to grow, and if that means passing the torch on to a new generation of people to run the Critical Role, D&D games and stuff, then so be it, because I know that they're going to continue to produce, top-notch content and all that stuff. So, but again, this is also stuff that's going to be 3 to 5 years in the making, because this campaign is like 3.5 years long-ish. So if they take a year off between campaign 2 and 3, and then campaign 3 is another 3 years, that's we're still looking at 4 years before any of this stuff actually happens. So we still have a while.
I would love to see, talking about like new cast and kind of like new. No, I'm not calling the Critical Role cast old, but like maybe a younger cast. They're so successful by themselves, they don't need Critical Role. But I would love to see some Dimension 20 players and cast members join. I want Brennan Lee Mulligan to like play.
Is he the DM?
He's a DM.
Yeah.
He's probably the most talented person, I'm just gonna say, in the world. Like, like he's too good. He's a scary good DM. He's so funny. His improv is incredible. I'd love to see him either play with the cast or DM for the cast, but also the players. Like I love Emily Axford. I love like Zach Oyama and Brian Murphy. Like that's a super great cast. I'd love to think of them doing stuff with Critical Role because it'd be so cool.
Yeah, really it definitely feels like Dimension 20 is the other. I feel like they share audiences.
Yeah,
so that would actually be a really good.
Yeah, the difference is Dimension 20 is heavily edited. It's not like scripted or anything, but like it's produced almost.
It's kind of like a Undead Wood, kind of.
Yeah, maybe. Very similar. Yeah. But oh my gosh. Oh, and Ali Beardsley.
Oh yeah. We did get a little bit of them with the high school one
I
shot
can't
that we
remember the
had.
name of flowers. Like
Yeah, I can't remember.
throw
It's on
my
the tip
book
of
out
my
the
tongue.
Monster Heart.
Yeah,
That was a good stream too.
that was.
But yeah, exploring other TTRPGs would be really cool. Like I'd love to see a continuation of Tao's Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, I love that system so much.
Yeah, if they could.
That system,
Spoilers. If they could bring back Liam's character, because I love that character so much.
Yeah.
And Cinderbrush. Did I say Monster Hearts? I said Monster Hearts. No, it is Monster Hearts, but it was Cinderbrush.
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about. It's fine. Yeah, Matt has been on Dimension 20. Escape from the Bloodkeep is my favorite series.
Oh, I need to start. I need to start watching Oxventure and Dimension 20 and so many other D&D shows.
Yeah. I'm listening to the Adventure Zone at the moment, and
that's another one.
That's excellent as well. That one's a lot easier because it's just audio. I don't need to sit in front of the screen and watch it, but that's excellent as well. My God. And then there's this other show, Hit Dice Heroes. It's so engaging.
That one is.
It's so,
the characters are all wonderful.
And, like that DM, like I could listen to her voice every day of the week.
You also should check out Hit Dice Heroes.
Yeah, it's really good.
Tons of fun. Tons of fun. We just kicked ass in a fighting pit.
Yeah,
absolutely really smoked the champions.
Yeah. You guys did. That was really impressive. I wasn't necessarily expecting that to happen.
Yeah, to be fair, we were rolling. I feel like we were rolling pretty well.
I was rolling really bad.
Yeah, that was
2 natural ones on advantage.
Yeah. That'll get you. But are there any other thoughts, feelings, emotions about this? So we kind of went off on
we're going short
on a tangent there. There wasn't really a whole lot that happened in this.
It was
episode.
A lot of combat, a lot of planning, a lot of feeling.
We did get Dagon. That's right, Leah. We got Dagon back, and we got a nice little rivalry going on between the High Ranger and Dagon. It was really nice.
That was interesting.
Yeah. We got sassy
Essek.
Essek.
So sassy.
Yeah. I wonder. I mean, obviously, I don't think Matt is going to like force a character death, but like, I'm worried that Essek might. I don't know.
I could see him sacrificing himself in a redemption.
Yes, because I think we had talked about this, where I think like a good end for Essek's character is like a redeeming sacrifice. Where because his last.
How is he going to function in society outside of this? Because he's super wanted by the dynasty. Well, he's super wanted by the Empire. He's going to be wanted by the dynasty sooner or later. Like he feels like they're going to catch on. So it makes sense that a tidy wrap up for him would be dying.
Yeah, no, that tracks. That tracks. Or was it Essek that they offered, or was it a different character where they offered to just chill at Rumblecusp once this all passes? Was it Marion? I can't remember.
No. Was it the gentleman? Did they offer to
Maybe it was.
Take the gentleman on holidays?
I know that they had offered it to someone, being like, "Hey, there's a nice island that we can hang out at."
I think it was the gentleman.
Maybe it was. Lynn, are you here still?
Lynn.
It was Marion and the Gentleman, I believe. Yeah, I think that's correct. But hey, maybe they can be like Essek. Hey, there's a remote island, nice group of people. You can go hang out there for the rest of your days.
Find you some shade.
Yeah. But yeah. They offered it to Dagon. Oh, they did. They did do that as well.
I think they offered it to everyone.
Yeah, I feel like
Even though they don't, I feel like they have controlling interest in Rumblecusp, and they're like the managers.
they're really trying to grow the VO community.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a very tight knit group right now.
So stupid.
Man, remember when we were still in the Rumblecusp arc?
I
Those were the days.
I went back because I'm trying to find that episode where we talked about how many episodes we thought were left. Like, it's hard. I'm trying to find it though.
Yeah.
But I just clicked randomly on an episode and it was you saying like next episode's got to be Travelercon. It's got to be like there's no. It was, but it was like after so long of like waiting for Travelercon, like it's got to be Travelercon, and then they're gonna go to Isocross and have some kind of ice adventure, and then we're back to Rex Syndrome. Like, it was.
I remember we were like, ooh, I think the next place they're going is Isocross. You know, with Vestaragna, there was that cool little. I'm so excited to see what's no.
End of the world.
Yeah, future me comes and smacks past me. No, it's not gonna be fun. It's not gonna be a cool trek through an unknown, wilderness and stuff.
Yeah.
Big
I need to cut that little thing and then have like the curb.
Yeah. Yep. Oh god.
All the stuff that's happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh god. We were so young and ignorant then. Now we're world weary.
Isocross weary.
Yeah.
Man.
We'll never be the same. We will never be the same.
I struggle to theorize. Well, I don't, obviously, but I struggle to like come up with anything that's worse than what I think is actually going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't actually, thinking about it now, because Adris in chat was saying, what do you think will happen with Yusa? I'm wondering if Yusa is still alive, and here's what I think. I think if they do end up having to dip, like some of them have to teleport, like we lost, we need to get out of here or we are dying for nothing. And if let's say like Ford and Caleb, Bo stay behind, or whoever stays behind, I don't think I'm like 70-30 split in thinking that Matt wouldn't kill them and Molly would instead or Lucian would instead take them to become part of the city so that they could potentially, meta-wise, they could potentially be saved again. Because it's possible that Yusa is still alive. His consciousness is just intertwined with the city, and they need to destroy the city to, release all of these souls that are captured by it. So I'm wondering if people do end up having to stay behind, I would think that maybe then they would be able to be saved because Lucian just offered them up as like a sacrifice to the city. I don't know. I hope Yusa's still alive.
I think he is. I just think it's tricky because his body is still there. I think that implies that his tether is still intact. It's just that he has been taken, but his consciousness has been taken by the city. So I think he's alive. I just don't think he's going to be helpful.
Yeah, probably not.
Which makes me think that the Mighty Nine are going to go to the Astral Sea. Because that's the thing, isn't it? The two things are going to go to the Astral Sea to put the threshold crests on the city so that it can return.
Yeah.
So I think if they go there, they might be able to free Yusa, but it's going to be.
But is it? But would it be? Is it worth it? Like if they stop the Tomb Takers, is Yusa worth trouble? I mean, I say yes because I love Yusa's character, but realistically, would they take that chance?
I think they would talk about it because this is something that, like, okay, it's not a dire threat currently. Like, we do have time at least now, maybe. They should, oh god, I don't know. They should get help.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tricky. It's really tricky.
Yeah, it is. But again, a situation like that just adds to the already very morally gray campaign that we've had, where it's like, well, we won, but Yusa is still trapped. Do we risk our lives to try to go save someone who helped us a great deal in this journey?
Yeah, and who we kind of brought into this mess.
Yeah, or do we just say, job well done, the world is saved, and Yusa was just an unfortunate casualty along the way?
My word.
Deep thoughts. Deep thoughts.
I don't know. It's all bad. This sucks.
It's we're in a shithole right now, and we have a frost salamander to deal with. Are they? Does anyone know? Are they deadly? Are we gonna have another rough fight? Are they difficult?
Fine. I think it's just another resource.
Yeah, it's a resource killer.
But like, I want to go back to goddamn like the Savine Islands. I want to go back to.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of the island names. I'm freaking out, man. Like,
yeah, it's not. This isn't
I miss
good.
Avantika. Like,
I know. Can we
go sailing again?
Can we have Lorenzo back? Lorenzo was such a more, contained villain. Oh. But also Lorenzo was the only one to kill a PC. So maybe.
Yeah. The PC that's now causing us grief.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's too much. There's too much, and I'm worried that Matt is like stressing out to figure out how he wants to wrap up and handle these final stages of the campaign. But I have no idea how this is all going to be wrapped up.
Address says in chat, we've still got the whole moon arc. Ford still needs to go to space.
Yep. Alien Ford. He's got to return home. They got to get Ford home.
Ruda still needs to crack open like an egg and spill out Tharizdun. Jeez, guys. We're not going to get through any of this.
There's 100 more episodes of Campaign 2. You heard it here.
Yep.
100 more. I don't know.
They're going to pause Campaign 2, do Campaign 3 in the middle of it, and then finish Campaign 2.
Yep. I agree. I agree. But I think there was a few people in chat saying that after this arc, there's likely going to be like a 1 to 2 year time skip. I feel like that's the most likely case. But at the same time, probably not, because a lot of the side stuff is very pressing. Like they wouldn't be able to take a 1 to 2 year break.
I could see the wrap up being like they deal with all the stuff quite quickly, and then it's like, because I think like Campaign 1 wrap up was like, what did your life look like? What did you get up to and everything? So I think it would be similar. Like, maybe you're going to meet up with the remaining members of the Mighty Nein in a year. Like, what do you do in that year? Like, what happens? Which will be kind of like, it makes sense. I could see Ford being like, oh, I went and saw Vandrin and we made up in that time. It's like, no, I want to see it. I want to see it roleplay, damn it. Like, but I could see it being narrative. Danny G, I could see them skipping the Xenoth trial. I don't think that needs to be role played necessarily. I could see Bo being just like, well, I went to the trial and it was this sort of thing.
All right, Danny said they can skip to the Xenoth trial and then 1 year time skip.
I don't know. I'm not going to spoil anything. I don't know if anyone has ever seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but the way they did the finale of that show was really well done. Because it was such a huge grand scale show and how they had to do the wrap-ups. The wrap-up of that show, I think, is how I see the wrap-up of any kind of D&D campaign of like, oh, 1 year later, where are you now? Like, sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Really good show, by the way. You should definitely watch it if you haven't. And again, it depends on who's left, who's still alive, like how they manage. If they don't, it could be, third age, which the third age is always the best age in any fiction. Let's hear it for
hands
Lord
down.
of the Rings.
Absolutely, hands down. But like it's hard to come up with theories and stuff of, what's the party gonna do after this, because this is so world ending and world altering, like we can't accurately predict what's going to happen, because if they fail, like everything changes.
Like thinking back to Campaign 1 with the Chroma Conclave, when they were getting ready to fight Thordak, and they didn't have plans for after that, but I don't think it was because they didn't think they were going to win. I think it was just they were so wholly focused on this one fight. I think maybe it was like kill Thordak, deal with Raishan. With this, it's like do our best, but probably nothing afterwards. Just the abyss. Like, it's it's so stressful.
Yeah, it's not something to look forward to. And Robert says, "What if campaign 3 is life with the Somnovum?"
Yeah,
that could be cool because Matt has stated before that if in campaign 1, if Vox Machina had failed, campaign 2 would have been dealing with the aftermath of that Vecna's rule and very depressing way of life.
Vecna sucked.
Yeah.
Vecna was the worst. He was a dick. I hated him.
Yeah, and I mean, Trent feels like he could take that mantle. He feels like that kind of a character.
Very Vecna-y.
Yeah. No, even the way he looks.
Bullshit.
He even has a gross voice like Vecna did.
Yeah. At least Thordak saw himself as like a king.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm Thordak. Oh, that's not his voice.
I mean, Thordak, are you here?
Oh,
oh my god. Oh. Holy shit. Thought I heard the beating of dragon wings.
Okay. Trent is worse than Vecna, in my opinion. Nice.
I mean, I feel like I have...
level.
Yeah.
On a personal level.
Trent is more personal. Yeah.
But both are fucking with Liam's character. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Poor Liam.
That's true.
Like on talks, he's just like, I just hope my character doesn't die. It's like, yeah, fair. That's a really fair call.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stop making characters that are so eager to sacrifice.
Oh god. I am interested to see what characters the cast is able to come up with for campaign 3.
Yeah.
That's while I don't want this campaign to end, I am excited to meet new characters. As sad as it is to say goodbye to would be to say goodbye to these ones,
Yeah.
Because I've never had to experience, meeting a new cast of PCs because I wasn't here for campaign 1. So, the Mighty Nein are the main ones for me, but for a lot of people, Vox Machina were the main ones, and then the Mighty Nein were new, all that stuff. So it'll be interesting.
I think we plan to, like, when that comes out, what we should do, because we've talked about having like pre-campaign 3 what the sheet episodes. We should come in with like our list of which classes and types of characters we think each are going to play, and then talk about it. I think because you see those threads all the time, like. What do you think we're going to play campaign 3? So we're going to do it.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I'm so down for that. That'll be good.
Excellent idea, me.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Do we have any other closing thoughts, feelings, emotions, tinfoil hat theories that'll get us sniped by the Critical Role writing team? Finish off this one. I don't think so. Looking at my very extensive notes that I diligently took during the episode because I wasn't distracted at all.
My notes devolved into doodling as always.
Yeah. Travis is going to be a bard. Ooh.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Huh. He's got the physical animation for it. I love Travis, how he gets into character physically as well.
Yeah.
With his role play. So good. Will Sam play Luke in campaign 3? That'd be interesting. I feel like that'd be too direct of a tie-in, but hey.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down for that. Sam playing a normal sized character. I mean, I feel like that's a little too.
That's suggesting that halfling and gnome are not normal. Excuse you.
True. What other halfling, gnome, goblin? What other small?
Dwarf is dwarfs are medium technically. They're not small, but they are still shorter than average.
I could.
Not as short as people think, though. I think dwarves are like Dwarves are like chest height on a human.
Yeah. I could potentially
Kobold?
see, because I don't know. He lets Liam decide on who he plays. I was just thinking a Kenku maybe. I feel like if there was someone in the cast to pull it off, it would probably be Sam, but it's also very difficult to play Kenku.
I think Sam though likes engaging in the
Yeah.
conversation too much.
Yeah.
That'd be really hard.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a really old Kenku that worked in a place where everyone was just talking to them all the time, so they've got a full vocabulary. But that's the tricky thing. Is thinking what would Liam pick for Sam.
Yeah. Maybe like a. I don't know. We don't have to do this now. We'll save this. We'll save this for the real stream. When we really do this breakdown.
Danny though saying that everyone won't tell each other what class they play, so they'll all end up being monks.
I feel like Laura is gonna play a monk, and I know every time I say that, everyone is always like, "Oh, but she played one in the Darrington Brigade." That was just a taste. She's gonna want to play a monk full time monk. I feel like
I'm gonna save it. I've got another thought for Laura. I'm gonna say
either that, or if Travis isn't the bard, I think Laura could play a bard very, very well. But yeah, those are my thoughts. My thoughts for now. Pose. Yeah. Well, if that is all we have, then that is all we have. So
I don't know how this super chill episode of Critical Role turned into a really down episode.
I know. We did this. Oh god. It is what it is. I'm curious to see how long this anticipation is going to be stretched out for, like, when this head-to-head is going to actually happen. Because, again, we don't know where Molly is or Lucian is. We don't know where the Tomb Takers are. They could be days out from actually being here.
Like, we want a tower scene with Essek.
Yeah.
Surely, like.
But we'll see. They have to deal with the Frost Salamander first. So be sure to tune in next week when we talk about the Salamander fight. And maybe, I don't think we'll get the Tomb Taker fight next week. If anything, it might end on a cliffhanger where it starts happening. But
potentially.
I think we're still at least 2 episodes away from a conflict with the Tomb Takers, I think.
Yeah, I think, we might.
Maybe more, because again, it could be day.
I think it could be second half. I think either second half or we build up to a.
Yeah, maybe. Within the next 3 episodes, 100%.
Within the next 20 episodes at least.
Yeah, a safe.
Maybe.
Safe bet.
That might not be enough.
Yeah, because we still have the whole year, because we predicted 30 episodes, so maybe 30.
TravelerCon coming up.
Yeah.
TravelerCon's coming up.
The second TravelerCon, the annual. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing now. So, regardless, be sure to tune in next week, where we will be talking about whatever ends up happening. And so, with all that being said, we can go ahead and call this one a wrap. As always, thank you all so much for joining us live for this podcast. It is always such a pleasure chatting with you all. And of course, thank you to everyone who's going to be watching this on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Anchor or wherever this podcast may find itself. It is always a very great pleasure doing this every single week. Almost every single week. Sometimes, we
get there.
We get there eventually. We had just had our previous literally 2 days ago. It's fine. It's fine. It's only kind of thrown off my perception of time. But it's great. It's great. It's a great weekly thing, and I'm glad we're all here to hang out and talk about Critical Role. And so, as always, make sure you love each other, and most importantly, make sure you love yourself. That is the most important. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your morning, day, evening, wherever you may find yourself on this glorious earth. And we will see you all very, very soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.